Hi, my name is Ray Hecht. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm an admission counselor at Colorado State University. Today, I'm coming to you from in front of the Morgan Library, and I'm excited to talk to you about financial fit. So, as you begin to look more into Colorado State University, we hope that you find an academic program that fits your interests, and we're going to be a good academic fit. We also hope that CSU is a place that you're really excited to call home throughout your college experience. But we also want to make sure that it's going to be a good financial fit. So, with that being said, we want to be upfront about the cost, and today we're going to cover the cost of attendance. We're going to touch on scholarships and financial aid, some additional strategies to try to close the gap when paying for college, and then the last thing we're going to cover is some outcomes as a CSU graduate. So, when we look at the cost of attendance, it's broken down into four different parts. There is tuition, so we have Colorado resident tuition as well as non-resident tuition. Then there's meal plan and housing, your books and supplies, additional fees, and then a total. So as a Colorado resident, you could expect to pay somewhere around $28,000. And as a non-resident, the cost of attendance is going to be somewhere around $47,500. Now this is just an estimate and it's before financial aid and scholarships. So we are going to take a look at some financial aid and scholarship opportunities. We have both automatic award scholarships as well as competitive scholarships. So for the automatic awards, we have some merit scholarships. Now, right now, as we're moving towards being test optional, the merit scholarships are being reviewed, and we're working towards moving to a more holistic review. As we have more details, we'll make sure to send those out to you. Then we also have the Western Undergraduate Exchange. So if you're a student that comes from a WUI state and you meet the criteria, then you receive an automatic award for tuition. And then finally, we have the Native American Legacy Award, or NALA. So if you're a student that is currently enrolled in a state or federally recognized tribe, regardless of where you're coming from, you're going to get about the equivalent of in-state tuition. And then as a transfer student, we also have some automatic awards available for you. So we have two different awards as well as a Western Undergraduate Exchange transfer scholarship. And so if you want to see the exact details, you can visit the CSU website or reach out to your transfer admission counselor. Then over on the competitive side, you want to make sure to apply for some competitive awards through the CSU scholarship application, or the CSUSA. So this is one application. It's where you're going to be applying for things like scholarships through your academic college or department. I also want to highlight that we have a first generation scholarship. So first generation meaning that neither of your parents have received a bachelor's degree by the time that you start at CSU. So you want to make sure to apply for this scholarship or complete this application between October 1st and March 1st. So to be completely upfront, we don't see a ton of students receiving these awards as they're coming into CSU, but you want to give yourself every opportunity and you want to continue to complete that application as you progress along during your time at CSU. Then I also want to talk a little bit about the FAFSA, or the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. Similar to the CSUSA, we can receive that between October 1st and March 1st. You want to make sure to complete this, and it's especially important if you are a Colorado resident. We have different things like the Colorado Tuition Assistance Grant, and if you qualify, you could receive up to half or full tuition in a grant. So you want to make sure to complete that. You can be sending it to all the institutions you're applying to. Just make sure to include CSU on that list. So after scholarships, after financial aid, we also want to cover some additional strategies to try to close that gap when you're looking to pay for college. So the first strategy we'll touch on is work study. So we have both merit-based and merit-based work study. And if you're not familiar with this, it's like a student worker position, but rather than earning a paycheck, the money that you're earning is going towards paying your tuition. Then we have on-campus employment and off-campus employment. On-campus employment is like the traditional student worker position, and you might just want to consider getting a job while you're in college, maybe something part-time while you're taking your classes. Then other scholarships. So CSU can accept outside scholarships, both local scholarships and national scholarships. You want to make sure to apply to as many things as possible, and it might be a good idea to reach out to your college and career counselor to see if they have any suggestions for you. A lot of times they're pretty knowledgeable, especially about the local opportunities. And then after that, we have parent and student loans as well as your personal finances. So with all that being said, we understand college is a really big investment. it might be the biggest investment that you ever make. Is it worth it? Does it make sense to go to college? And more importantly, does it make sense to go to CSU? We absolutely think so, and we actually have some research that backs that up. So I'm going to share some of that with you. The first thing I want to share is that 85% of CSU graduates are currently employed in a field related to their career plans. So when our students graduate, they're not just accepting any job, they're actually getting to utilize their degree. Then also, the starting salary over the past 3 years for our graduates is $51,000. And then finally, I think this is really telling, but 88% of students, when asked, said that they would choose CSU all over again. So they love their experience, they're Rams for life. So that concludes the financial piece today. I can't wait to hopefully welcome you into the Ramily one day, and go Rams.